Good morning, everybody. I don't know about you, but I woke up having a very weird morning. I never ever spill coffee, and I was setting my coffee down on the nightstand and I sneezed and the coffee went all over the top of my laptop. So we almost didn't have a live show this morning because I quickly dried off the laptop. If it would have been open, it would have definitely fried the laptop. But it's okay. I wiped it off. It was closed. It went right over the top of it. And so I think we're pretty good. But anyway, what a weird morning. And then about 30 minutes ago, as I was basically decoding a new series called Supernatural, I ended up getting some weird frequency in my right ear, which caused my ear to ring. It was in my right ear. I don't know if any of you guys experienced that over the last half hour, but I got this weird frequency in my right ear. And I haven't had tinnitus in years, probably a good decade. I had it when I was younger, when I was in my 30s. I had tinnitus, and I couldn't even sleep at night because the ringing was so loud. But that has since gone away for many years, but all of a sudden this weird frequency went into my ear. So I was like, this is really weird. But anyway, let's get into Between the Headlines. These shows are actually a lot more fun for me than decoding some of these series, because these series are pretty dark. I have to shield your guys' eyes from a lot of the stuff in these series. You don't see all of the very graphic parts of the episodes, but I end up seeing them, and it is heavy spiritual warfare. And as we have gone into these times of the year, the veil starts to fall down. And we all know this. It's November 5th, the 5th of November, but it actually starts right about now. There's a spiritual battle waging. And I don't know all the dynamics of it, but I do know that these are times of heightened sacrifice. These are times where people are being picked up. Let's say that. And we all need to stay prayed up through this season to battle against these dark forces. Okay? Unbelievable. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. In a world where gas lawnmowers are now illegal, or will be illegal, in California. And presidents gain popularity by forcing unpopular mandates. A dimension of time and space where 10-year-old emails are dug up to ruin people's lives. And the airline industry cancels most of its flights, but the mainstream media denies that it has anything to do with the thousands of pilots who don't want the Pokemon sticker. And these are some of the headlines we'll be going over today. So let's read between them and see what's really going on. Now, before we do, understand that spiritual confirmations of discoveries that have been revealed to us on this channel will become more and more frequent as we progress into these last days. We did a lot of work on the Candyman recently, didn't we? Yes, we have. We have about 4 or 5 Candyman videos. And look at this. Lo and behold, the damn senator, this was Trump's VA pick, Veterans Affairs, he was nicknamed the Candyman. Now, this was all the way back in 2018, and I did not find this. One of you sent this to me. And so these are the kinds of confirmations that all you can do is just shake your head, right? But they are confirmations of things that have already been revealed. And I believe that God provides this kind of reinforcement and confirmation to help strengthen our faith, to help us know that we're on the right track. Now, let's move on to this first story. Now, you guys have heard me mention on this channel about the silly little rules in California, about how you can't even light a fire in your own fireplace on certain days, and their plans to pass laws to charge you, literally charge you a tax or fee for every mile that you drive within the state of California. This is all happening in California, you guys. These laws are either on the books or are about to happen. Well, California has gone even deeper into the twilight zone by banning billions of dollars worth of gas-powered garden equipment. Think of all of the, maybe not a billion, but millions of dollars worth of gas-powered lawn equipment that people have purchased that is sitting in their garages that are now obsolete or will be obsolete. Now, here's the interesting part before we read this article. Everybody knows that gardening in California is a job that is almost exclusive to illegal immigrants. And so this will directly negatively affect them, as their gardening businesses and all of their equipment that they've bought will go obsolete with the sweep of a pen. Good job, nuisance. The nuisance signs a law banning a sale of new gas-powered leaf blowers, lawnmowers by 2024. This is happening very, very quickly. Let's read exactly what this is about. Phase out the sale. Now, this is just the sale of them, right? So far. Phase out the sale of small off-road engines. What? So, small off-road engines as well. So, let's see. Oh, okay. So, I spent a lot of time on the Central Coast in California, and a very popular place for people to come was the dunes, the Pismo Dunes. Literally, tens of thousands of people would show up. And it was really good for the economy. There was an entire economy based around these ATVs, off-road vehicles. And it's interesting because during the spam-demic, guess what happened? They shut the dunes down. And I remember talking to my friends and family that still live there. And I'm like, there's something bigger happening here. Well, see how this is connected? First, they shut them down, get everybody used to not going out there. Now they're going to ban small off-road engines by 2024. Unbelievable. The new law also requires the boards to identify and make available, where feasible, funding for commercial rebates to go toward the purchase of electric equipment. Now, here's the problem I have with electric. The more cards you pull out of the deck, the more cards you pull off the table for people's independence. In other words, various forms of energy, when you start pulling those alternative forms of energy off of the table, that represents control. And with whatever, EMP weapons they might have in space that could automatically disable everything electrical if they wanted to, if they really wanted to do that, they could easily do that. There's been talk of other countries having this ability, or at least they're priming the pump and having us to believe that these other countries can do this. And then, of course, they could always blame it on a flare from the sun, right? And so you can't just allow this to happen. You can't just say, oh, no more gasoline, but this is exactly what many states are doing. It says here, retailers will be limited to selling zero emission equipment. Notice how also all of these new laws talking about these controls on gas-powered vehicles is also happening on the heels of the supply chain issues. So you're not even able to get a lot of this equipment right now anyway, because everything's on back order. So just perfect timing, right? The means to an end. So they're using the spam-demic as cover to get these things passed through, because right now it's probably not that big of a deal for people because they can't even order this stuff anyway. They've already been primed to not miss it. Let's keep reading about this. An hour's use of gas-powered leaf blower produces the same amount of emissions as driving from LA to Denver. Are you kidding me? According to the Air Resources Board. Well, how about all the emissions from private jets? Hours use of gas-powered leaf blower produces the same amount of emissions as driving from LA to Denver. Shocking. So, you evil leaf-blowing gardeners, you're going to get it. We're going to put you guys on batteries now. The bill's author, Assemblyman Mark Berman, Menlo Park and supporters including the American Lung Association. I can't even read any more of this article. Okay, so you guys get the drift here. So the leaf blowers now are in the cancel culture. What do we have next here? All right. 75% of parents either won't or are undecided about allowing their children to get a Pokemon sticker. In this next story, CBS News, will parents get their younger kids Pokemoned? For the majority of Americans still concerned about the spamdemic as winter approaches, uncertainties remain, because even as cases have started to come down, more suspect the breakout will get worse. So this is a poll that they said that they did about parents priming the pump. And so here's what's going to happen. They're going to, a third of the parents are saying no, a third are saying definitely yes, and a third maybe. So all they're going to do is take this maybe number and put it over in the yes crowd. This is the progression of the brainwashing and how it works. So this is what's going on with parents and children going back to school and their choice about the Pokemon sticker. I'm going to make sure you guys are with me. Said we weren't getting... Okay, we got a good connection now. Okay, very good. Let's keep going. A lot of stories today. Try to get through them as thoroughly as possible. Hundreds of thousands of troops. I didn't even know we had hundreds of thousands of troops. That's crazy. They have not yet complied with a Pokemon sticker. I wonder why. Let's read. Hundreds of thousands of U.S. service members remain unstickered or only partially stickered against the VidCo. With lopsided rates across the individual services and a spike in deaths among military reservists, illustrating how political division over the Pokemon sticker has seeped into nonpartisan force with unambiguous orders. I don't think this is political, but this is what they keep saying. They're the ones that keep putting the politics label on it, right? So, I guess we have 2.1 million troops. Wow. So hundreds of thousands have not yet gotten it yet. 90% of active duty Navy is fully stickered, whereas only 72% of the Marine Corps is. Both services share the November 28th deadline, which, by the way, is the 333rd day of the year. In the Air Force, more than 60,000 personnel have just 3 weeks to meet the deadline. Now, this is interesting, this Air Force thing, because we have a common theme here. And we'll get into a little bit more about this later. The common theme are pilots, right? Wonder how many pilots there are in the Air Force. Notice how the article does not tell us what percentage that 60,000 is of the Air Force, because it's probably a large majority, or at least half is my guess. I don't know that, but so what are they afraid of? Well, there are some issues associated with stickers that could directly affect pilots in very, 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 very rare cases, of course, according to their numbers. So, weird, right? Firefighters and police also hesitant. Okay? According to this article, one of the themes of the spamdemic news this year is that firefighters and police officers are hesitant. This week, hundreds of firefighters in LA filed a notice of intent to sue the city over its mandate, saying an October 20th deadline to get Pokemon sticker is extreme and outrageous. The notice filed Thursday said each of the 871 firefighters would seek $2.5 million each if the lawsuit is filed. So firefighters are suing. Firefighters in Spokane, Washington as well in a lawsuit over the mandate. So this goes on and on. Looks like several of these groups, firefighters and police, are suing. New York Times, October 10th. And the unemployed are also standing up for higher pay. Now, it's about time. You've all heard my diatribes about the underpaid American worker and the working poor, and how most people work really, really, really hard and can barely pay their rent. And we talked about that in a country of so much quote unquote freedom, who likes to give away billions of dollars to other countries and help other people, we still can't pay a living wage. Now, I don't know how that's going to happen. Got into a discussion with the guy at the car wash, and he's like, well, if they mandate, higher wages, that affects me as a business owner. I said, look, I understand that, but there's got to be a way. If we're giving away all this other money, why can't we just say, okay, look, just let's reapportion some of this tax money that we're already spending in our defense budget, which is like 75% higher than any defense budget in the entire world. And let's just reposition that as true defense, like within our own borders. Beef up our own borders if you want to, if you really think there's a threat. Now, I personally know there is no international threat, that this is all just smoke and mirrors and hogwash to get brothers fighting against brothers and nations fighting against nations. It's all a big hat trick. But if you really want to believe that we truly need defense, then just stop going in other countries. You know how expensive it is to put equipment on a plane or a boat and drive it across the ocean? I mean, you guys, talk about fossil fuels. So you can't operate your blower, but then they can send Navy destroyers across the ocean back and forth and exercises and blow out, 5,000 blowers in 1 hour. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's about control. It has nothing to do with some guy with a leaf blower. It has everything to do with getting rid of gasoline and sticking us all on an electric grid that they can easily just turn off when they want to, when we don't comply with what they want us to do, right? So, I don't know how we got on that topic, but anyway, long story short, reapportion some of this money and let's circle the wagons. Let's pay a living wage to anybody who shows up to a job and is willing to give 8 hours of their life every single day away. They should be making enough money to afford rent, a reasonable car payment, pay their electric bill, and a few other things. Some general health care, and be able to have money for food, and maybe $300 or $400 a month left over to spend on going out to dinner. Is that too much to ask? There's a lot of people that work really, really, really hard. And these people are standing up. There's like, screw this. We're not doing this anymore. Now, here's what I think happened. I think that what is happening now is that families are circling the wagons. They're consolidating households. They're getting by with a lot less. And if there was ever a reason for parents to let a child move home, an adult child, this would be the definition of a time where that would happen, during a spamdemic where jobs were scarce or people were let go of their jobs. And so now we have the labor market imploding because people have had enough. Now, what this article won't say is that a lot of people just don't want to get poked anymore. And they definitely don't want to wear a Halloween mask all day. Let's read this article. The anemic September employment report with only 194,000 jobs added illustrates the extent to which the recovery stalled as VidCo cases surged last month. But it also signals something deeper. Americans unemployed are still struggling with childcare and health issues, and they are reluctant to return to jobs they see are unsafe or undercompensated. For months, economists predicted a surge in hiring in September as unemployment benefits expired for millions of workers and schools reopened across the country. Instead, last month marked the weakest hiring this year. An alarming number of women had to stop working. Why are they making this about a women's issue? This is everybody, you guys. This is everybody. It's not just women. So this is what's going on with the workforce in America. Now, let's get on to this next article. Scott Gottlieb on Face Slay the Nation. This guy right here demonstrates the right-left paradigm lie in plain sight. Now, he was appointed by T. Rump, and he always stood for getting rid of religious exemption. Here he is right here, 2019. They say they will take action if states don't adjust their lax exemption laws. Let's see what he has to say here. In 47 states, parents are exempted from Pokemon sticker for religious reasons. So, this is what Gottlieb wants to get rid of. Let's see what he had to say. He says, the federal government may intervene in states' exemptions. This is your T. Rump appointment. Shame on this guy. He basically threatened them. He said if states don't tighten their exemption laws, they will step in. Guys, this was just before the spam-demic. What do these people know? What do these people know? Some states are engaging in such wide exemptions that they're creating the opportunity for outbreaks on a scale that is going to have national implications. You sure did know a lot about what was going to happen, Gottlieb. This is February 2019, a full year before the spam-demic, and he was already priming the pump, wasn't he? Here he is right here. Let's see when he was appointed by the T. Rump. All right, 2016, he worked for an advisor. Oh yeah, they were getting ready. They knew it was going to happen. Getting ready for what they knew was going to happen. Nominated in March 2017. So, he knew exactly what was going to happen. Now, this guy was so great at enforcing mandates that he was held over by Bo Jiven. They're all working together. And I'm tired of people making excuses for T. Rump or Bo Jiven. Some people are saying that T. Rump was doing this to keep his enemies closer, when these very enemies are working against all of us right under his arm. You gotta snap out of it. You have to snap out of it. Now he talked also, this guy is also talking about mandates for children. Let's see if he... Okay, so here we go. Oh, this is also the guy who was basically trying to get rid of menthol cigarettes. Same guy. So, Gottlieb, got milk. Now, why do I call him got milk? Because milk represents human sacrifice, doesn't it? What else do we have here? Well, hand sanitizer, which is regulated by FIDA, as you can see here. after rigorous testing and being used on people's hands for decades, was found to not be so safe. Here it is right here, hand sanitizer, one brand at least, not all hand sanitizer. This is a Miami Herald. Hand sanitizer brand has unacceptable levels of cancer-causing chemicals, FIDA warns. Well, you could have warned us before you put it on the shelf. How did you not know this? If you own a bottle of Art Naturals scent-free hand sanitizer, they want you to stop using it immediately and toss it into the hazardous waste container. I guess better late than never, as your hands peel off and your fingernails fall off. I mean, I'm not sure if that's what happens when you get cancer, but I can imagine. Unacceptable levels of cancer-causing chemicals, including benzene. Well, what else did they find this benzene in? Wasn't it the sunscreen? Right? Look at this. Warning was issued with 88 days left in the year, which is October 4th. Can't make this up. Oh, it's been added to a list of 260 other hand sanitizer brands. So if you are a hand sanitizer freak and your hands are having bad things happen to them right now, you might want to click on this link and see what other brands have been listed with harmful chemicals. Oh, look, they just happen to be sold at the very stores that most Americans shop at. Walmart, Publix, and Amazon. California-based company has now responded to the multiple FIDA attempts to discuss the contaminated hand sanitizer, including identification of the manufacturer, possible recalls, and the scope of the contamination. The risk of using these sanitizers is unknown, but research shows the chemicals may contain are known to cause cancer. Benzene. I wonder if they mention, see if they mention, sunscreen. Nope. They don't mention sunscreen. So, that's what's going on with hand sanitizer. Texas governor standing up, banning the Pokemon sticker mandates. And you guys have probably already heard this news. And I think he was joined by the Florida governor. And Dirty Socks Saki says that this is all about politics. That's her response. Politics. I guess you could say it's politics if you take into account that if you were to do a real poll in the states of Florida and Texas, that they would all agree that it should be a choice. But no one does a poll like that for some reason, because the pollsters usually lean one direction, don't they? If you want to talk about politics, Dirty Sock Saki, then that's probably the case. Let's go back to this. Now, I don't want to get too far into this article because this is probably a hot topic. This could get you in trouble. Giving a positive opinion of what the governors are doing, because it's against the policy to support anything that goes against people's desire to go get Pokemon stickers. But you can form your own opinions about this, whether these guys are heroes or not. So, that's what's going on with the governors of Texas and Florida. And we've got Michael Jordan. I guess all of that helium air got to his head because he's now endorsing something that has never happened before in the NBA. I mean, how can he even have an opinion? Did he ever have to play under these kinds of circumstances where he had to take something to get on the court? But apparently he says he believes in science. So I'm a firm believer in science, says hot air Michael Jordan. And he sides with the NBA. So suffice it to say, I'll never buy another pair of Air Jordans again, because Air is about freedom, isn't it? Gruden just got cancel cultured. How? If you don't know who Gruden is, was the coach of the Raiders, which I guess moved to Las Vegas. I didn't realize that either. He got cancel culture for 10-year-old emails before he was even a coach, saying some racist comments. Now, you all know my personal belief about what the definition of a racist is and my feelings about racist comments. Now, some of my folks of color, my fellow folks of color, might not agree with this, but I do not believe it is racism when someone simply makes a comment about someone. I don't think it's racism until you can prove that someone has taken away some part of your equal opportunity as an American in favor of someone else strictly based on their color. I believe that is what is true racism. People have the right and freedom to have any opinion that they want about anybody. And race is just another facet. It's another aspect of people's opinion. Until you step in somebody's way and take away their opportunity, that is when it becomes racism, because then they're basically treating you differently based on your color. So if someone says they won't serve you, or you can't drink from the same fountain, or your employment is taken away, or your housing, or you can't live in a certain neighborhood because of your color, that's when it becomes racism. Because after all, we do have freedom of speech. People can say whatever they want. Now, that's not going to sit well with some of you, but think of it this way. If we don't approach it that way, then we're setting ourselves up, aren't we? Because then they can go after other free speech. You could get cancel culture for having opinions about climate change, for instance. Different topic, but same thing. Would we want someone saying, you can't talk about that? No, because it's not affecting or standing in the way of anyone else's freedoms or opinion. I don't want somebody going back through my emails and firing me from a job. This is really about the technocracy, isn't it? This is about electronic surveillance and control. In this case, they're promoting it and allowing it because it produced a result that very, very few people disagree with. So Gruden has become the scapegoat. Let's read about what happened to Jon Cancel Culture Rude Man. Was finally paying a couple weeks ago. Gruden was finally paying off for the Las Vegas Raiders. His team was 3-0. And nobody could have ever guessed that 2 weeks later, Rude Man would be done as Raiders head coach because of emails spanning 10 years revealed ugly racist comments and amongst other things. Disturbing comments. Okay. So, now, do I like the comments this guy made? Of course not. This is reprehensible. But in the same way, I don't want him standing in the way of my opportunities. Obviously, this guy liked his players. It's not like he has all white players on the team. I'm sure there's a lot of black folks that have good things to say about him and their interactions with him, that he might have even inspired them. So, you got to step away from these things and take the emotion out of it sometimes about this kind of thing. And understand that people have opinions. As long as you're not standing in my way, then I don't have a problem. Now, if you could prove that someone was standing in your way, then you have a case. That should be hit with a lot of force in terms of the law. My opinion. You could demonstrate that or show that. For instance, if Gruden had an all-white team, yeah, that means he was denying people with greater talent just because of color. Okay, but so far, no one's been able to prove that. They just want to pin him as the rude man. Cancel culture. Now on to this next story. Now, this is shocking because the author of this opinion piece that I'm going to read next actually asserts that the key to Bo Jivin turning around his approval ratings, well, just simply force everybody to get the Pokemon sticker. The author then claims that the ends justifies the means to end the spamdemic. Now, what few people realize is that Bo's ratings were always in the toilet. They were probably the highest when he got inaugurated, but they're not going to tell you that, according to their statistics and numbers and polls. But let's read this one, because this is important to understand the mindset behind some of these people and what they feel the true answers are. Let me make sure you guys are with me first before we continue on with this story. There you guys are. Okay, right on. Let's keep going. It's time for bold action to save Republican lives, whether they like it or not. So whether you like it or not, this guy says that what you're about to hear next. Bo Jivin is in trouble. His approval numbers have been steadily declining for months, now hovering in the low 40s in some surveys. Without some upward movement, that will spell disaster for the Dems in the upcoming midterms. There's one straightforward policy Bo can undertake completely on his own initiative to turn this around. Sticker mandates. Strict policies to force sticker-resistant populations to get their stickers would do more than anything else under his direct control to improve the conditions of the country and his polling numbers. Now, I mean, this almost reads like a gag story, doesn't it? It doesn't even sound real that some people think like this, but apparently it is. There are no doubt many reasons that Bo's approval is down. The shrieking tantrum from the mainstream media over the American empire being humiliated in Afghanistan plays a part, as does the general tendency for presidential approval to decline following Eggnog the Nation. The relentless drumbeat of conservative propaganda takes its toll as well. Where's the relentless drumbeat? Gotten kicked off of pretty much all social media. There's no relentless propaganda drumbeat. The ongoing spamdemic is surely the largest part. Political science has shown for years that the incumbent party tends to be blamed for bad things. Then we're going to have to start calling them bad blame Bo Jivin. So, as long as the spamdemic continues, it will play HELL with the economic recovery. Unemployment is low, but recent job numbers have been weak. Supply chains are badly snarled up across the globe. That coupled with not really. We've got stuff sitting in container ships that we can't get them onto the shore. That coupled with the worst, okay, blah, blah, blah. Skip that over. Bo Jivin did promise to end the spamdemic. Immediately put in a place of national strategy that will position our country to finally get ahead of this virus and get back our lives, he said in his campaign speech. The primary proximate cause for that reversal is the behavior of the Republican Party. It's all their fault. Right-wing media and leaders have constantly spewed anti-sticker propaganda for months. Where is this happening? There still is a Fox News on YouTube. They still allow that. So if they don't like it, but they got to keep this right-left thing going. So they allow those channels to stay up. But the people that are really telling the truth, like Ben Swan, get cancel cultured. You see the problem here? We're not getting the true truth. We're getting the manufactured truth. So what they're saying here is they're actually talking about trying to ban private. Oh no, that's something different. Trying to take control of flights and make domestic flights have mandatory stickers. Unbelievable. And there's a host of other things they're talking about forcing in this article. They're saying that what Bo Jiden did with OSHA and the 100 employees requiring the sticker is not enough. They're saying in this article that they should require the sticker to fly. And they have the right to do that because it's all run by the feds, isn't it? You might be able to pressure the airlines into doing it themselves. Why do you think the first thing they did, it was actually T-Rump, the first thing he did was give the airlines a bunch of money out of that huge spending bill. Remember that? The relief package? And now he's got them by the you-know-what. They're even talking about Amtrak, restaurants, concerts, sports venues. They're talking about setting up a database instead of the cards. So now they want us all in a database. And they're saying the only reason why he won't do it is because of the predictable Republican response. The right-left paradigm once again. So, this is our future. A slow, steady web of control. Wow. Now, let's get into 99 red balloons. Now, we exposed this back in 2017. And we showed you guys that this had to do with a coming spamdemic. But what is this? This is redballoon.work. It's a job board for people who don't want the Pokemon sticker, and it connects people with employers who also believe in freedom. Now, it's hard not to believe that this is some kind of gaslighting, is what it seems like to me. Why would you name this Red Balloon? That's just weird. Free to work. But there's a video here. Let's hear what this guy has to say.
Welcome to Red Balloon, the nation's first and only free speech job site. I'm Andrew, the founder and CEO, and I'm excited you're here. I called this service Red
Wait
Balloon
a minute.
because
Wait a minute.
The service Red Balloon. CEO, and I'm
Crapshoot? Are you serious? Andrew Crapshoot. Okay, this has got to be
excited
gaslighting.
you're here. I called this service Red Balloon because balloons help you fly, especially if you tie a ton of them.
Yeah, they help clowns fly, like the It Clown. And they help, diseases fly. During World War II, this is what the Japanese did. They sent over Operation Cherry Blossom, which were red balloons. Some of them hit the West Coast. They were full of, disease and stuff.
To a lawn chair. A little bit dangerous, a lot bit fun, kind of like looking for a new job. And red, well, tote balloon just sounds like stupid. Keep moving. The mission of Red Balloon is to connect employers who still love freedom and want employees who love freedom to the millions of Americans now searching for jobs today, where they won't have to look over their shoulders and constantly be worried about being canceled. Think of this as...
So this sounds great, right? That's all I'm going to play with this. I don't want to get in trouble, but this just feels like gaslighting to me anyway. What do you guys think? Let's go back in the chat. Tell me what you guys think about redballoon.work. I mean, what is this going to do? Is this going to put people on some kind of a list? I don't know. Let's go in here and let this catch up. Take a little station break here so I can catch my breath with these headlines. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, you guys. I know I say that, but it's the truth. So, it's a crap. I mean, that's what the guy's name is. It's got to be a joke. Yeah. And the fact that he's so happy about it, when people are actually losing their livelihood, exactly. And I got a little frustrated yesterday because my anger isn't because of something coming inside of me. It's for all of the people out there who are struggling, who are having to make hard choices. It's for the people that won't listen, who didn't listen leading up to this. That's where my frustration comes out of. It's not because of anything that I want for myself. I just want you guys to understand that. Bizarre world. Okay, let's go on to the next story. Southwest and United canceled a bunch of their flights. Talk about cancel culture. And the mainstream claims that it has absolutely nothing to do with pilots or employees not wanting to get Pokemon stickers. Let's read these stories here. Southwest cancels 1,000 flights. Now there are people stranded. Of course, Cruz is going to say it's the sticker mandates at work, but the mainstream media quickly dismisses his theory as not just Southwest, but also United canceled a bunch of their flights. Just days after the pilots union asked a court to block the company's new Vidco 19 sticker mandate. The airline has blamed the cancellation on disruptive weather. Okay, so global warming and air traffic control issues. Some Twitter users were suspicious of the timing of the disruption. Bo Jiven's mandate at work, says Cruz. Suddenly, we're short on pilots and air traffic controllers. So, that's Southwest. Here's United. I don't know why that popped out right there. Hold on. United suspends several nonstop flights from SFO. This is on a smaller scale. This is just San Francisco. Through February. Wow. So this might have something to do with the international stuff going on. All right. And on to this next story. Now that the nuisance legitimately won the recall, tongue-in-cheek, he can't put his pen down now. Remember we discussed the psychology behind controlled adversity and conflict? That once the predetermined victim conquers the aggression, it then becomes a blanket endorsement of anything that they want to pass going forward. This is how the psychology of the false right-left paradigm works. Nuisance just signed a bunch of bills. Let's read what else he's doing in addition to canceling gas lawnmowers. They call it Newsom's woke weekend. So now being woke means taking away people's rights. Okay, interesting. The wokest, most... Oh my gosh. We're going to have to decode that word woke. Looks like Ewok. Okay. So, let's see what else he's up to. Many of the new date mans for businesses and residents comes at a time when the cost of everything from food to gas to household is among the steepest in the nation. Only Hawaii has a higher cost index. Nuisance is coming off a resounding victory in a recall election over taxation and government control. Resounding victory. In a time when the state and country are more divided than ever, his legislative session reminds us that we can accomplish what we can accomplish together, what we can accomplish to get her. What we're doing here in California is unprecedented in both nature and scale. Yeah. We will come back stronger than ever before. He signed 32 bills. No gas-powered lawnmowers or leaf blowers. 13 legislators would prohibit the sale of and use of gardening equipment. So this would make all of the millions, probably tens of millions, and maybe even billions of dollars worth of gas gardening equipment obsolete by 2024. The bill also applies to small off-road engines, such as golf carts. Wow. Now, I believe that correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you do off-roading, is there any kind of emissions like catalytic converter on ATVs? Do they have to fall under some kind of control for their emissions? Because if they do, then this bill would represent a comprehensive shutdown of basically all emissions coming out of any vehicle. Because look, so you've got these small gas powered motors that will be made obsolete. And then if ATVs are already under the control of the emission standards, then that would be pretty much everything, right? Last year, Newsom banned the sale of all cars and trucks that use gasoline by 2035. Now, I know that New York is doing this as well. Wow. Oh, they're going to put man straw products in school restrooms. Female baby boomers will recall that these items used to be for sale in most restrooms for a quarter. Gradually, the dispensers were removed, but now they must be reinstalled to offer free products in colleges and grades 6 to 12. It will cost $11 million to implement and $4.5 million a year to operate. Now, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing, I guess. It's about gender equity, a Stanford student said. As a non-man straw eating individual, I don't have to worry about where my toilet paper is going to be, or if I'm going to have access to toilet paper when I'm in a bathroom. It's just kind of weird that they're thinking about all this stuff, right? I don't know. Oh, look at this. Here's another one of Newsom's laws that he passed. General neutral toy section in the stores? Okay. So no more pink and blue. There's got to be a neutral. So they're going to mandate this. That stores must have a general neutral, can't even say it, toy section. If you're a parent confused over the labeling of toys for your children under 12, don't worry. California has you covered. Beginning in 2024, all stores must have a gender-neutral section with items that appeal to both. Wow, it's like a uni section, let's call it. A uni section. And if you don't comply, you could be fined up to $500. The law doesn't dictate what these items are, instead leaving it up to the discretion of the merchants. Forcing parents to shop in aisles dedicated to either boys or girls makes it more difficult for the consumer to compare the products. It incorrectly implies that their use... I can't even read this. Here's an ethnic studies requirement, another law. In the most hotly debated law of the bunch, students starting high school after 2026 must now pass an ethnic studies course before graduating. Opponents worry that this will increase the use of critical race theory. $50 million has been dedicated to funding the new curriculum. However, that appears to be a fraction needed, as one school district plans spending $40 million, with some contractors charging $1,500 an hour, of course. It's a government free-for-all. Of course they're going to charge that much. Wow. This extra funding. Now, if they were really to tell the truth about history, then everybody would wake up. But they're not going to tell that truth, are they? So, what other laws has he passed? That's it for now, Piers. Unbelievable. What else do we have? Well, Bo goes full T-tard on the border, using the exact same policies as the T-Man did. I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't start building the wall again. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't stop immigration from coming in. I'm just demonstrating how when one politician does one thing, they're hated. But when the other side does the exact same thing, people let it slide. This exposes the right-left lie. They're all the same. Doubling down, Bo Jiven doubles down on the use of the T-Man policy to expel migrants from the U.S. Wow. The T-era policy, known as Title 42, dismissing recent criticism. So, weird, right? And what else do we have here? The holier-than-thou Mr. Ouchie says he doesn't expect a sticker mandate for domestic air travel yet or immediately. Wow. Amid a growing push for passengers on domestic flights to show proof of the Pokemon sticker, Ouchie says he doesn't see it happening in the near future. So, this is coming. It's just a matter of time. Once they get about 80% of America with the Pokemon sticker, that's when they'll decide to make it mandatory to fly. So, you might want to get all caught up with family and friends across the United States right now. Take a flight, go spend 3 or 4 weeks with them, because you probably won't be flying out to see them in the near future unless you have a Pokemon sticker. All right. Wow, that was a marathon this morning. Now, crazy thing is, I got a show scheduled tomorrow. I put this thumbnail up, and you can't see it, but I'm going to show it to you now. This is from the TV series called Supernatural. This is from 2010. And in the series, there is a virus called the Croatoan. When you scramble Croatoan, it spells Coronata. Now, there's a lot more to this, because they talk about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, everything we've been talking about, the white horse of Revelation. It's all in the series. I've already started putting together some notes for this. I'll have something up for you today or tomorrow, and then we'll cover it in tomorrow morning's show. Now, there are multiple episodes related to the Croatoan virus that causes everyone to turn into zombies in the series. But I wanted to show you this in case we get cancel cultured, because it could happen any day. It could happen any day. Let's go back in here into the chat. Okay, I'm breathing now. Take a deep breath. What are you guys up to? Let me show you some of the screenshots, in case you think I'm stretching this. This is the White Horse car. And he has a ring made of silver set in a white stone. This is the White Horse called Death in the series. And on his license plate, it says bye-bye. And there's a whole thing that I'm going to show you tomorrow. A montage of the T-Man saying bye-bye over and over and over again. And here it is on the license plate. This was 2010. 2010. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Thanks, Vicky. I want everyone in green zones. Yes, Minnie. He who loses his life shall find it. I think it's lose it. Yes, the vampire hunters played by Sam and Dean. $59 Caddy. Thanks, Escape the Matrix. Yeah, you can't make this up, right, Rachel? I'm waiting for Jesus too, little rascal. Take care, Vanessa. Have a great day too. God is love. How many horses are riding? It's 4. Now, the series basically, okay, so there's some debate on who the 4 horsemen are, which horses they ride, and what they're called, right? Of course, that is the debate. But in the series, the white horse is called Death. But in the Revelation, I don't really think they call that horse anything. It's just a white horse with a bow and a crown. So we're going to break all that down tomorrow. Yes, Michael Jordan is a pawn. The air got to his head. Sorry, dude. You're out of touch. Stick to basketball. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Please thumbs up these videos. Helps more people see it. All right. Well, we're going to call it a show. I'll see you guys in the morning. Stay tuned for this this montage, this trailer that I'll probably get uploaded by tonight. So, looking forward to that. Love each and every one of you. Have a great day.